Out in front, the Miss Rock on the inside. And then the Design 360, Tom Martin, cutting into the infield of the north turn. He is evidently...
He was way out of position.
Time. Yeah, he got it simply messed up, sneaking back out onto the course. Here we go, though. Down to 22, 21 seconds. Everybody's slowing way down now. They'll be trolling before long. Bob Martin on the inside, and the Miss Rock. Jack Schaefer and the Tempest is slowing down. A couple of boats way back. They may be about right. That's the Design 360 and Will Muncie in the Kawaguchi Travel way back. Bob Martin is going to have to... He'll pick it up. 3 seconds, 2. And it looks like Brenda has an outstanding start. She's on the outside with the Tempest and Jack Schaefer on the inside. There's the race going into the south turn. Brenda Jones with the best start I have ever seen her put together. 3 more boats go by. The Miss Rock is very close to being dead in the water. The Kawaguchi Travel and the Design 360 going way back. But coming into the south turn, there is Jack Schaefer Jr. qualifying at 111. That in the Noah's Ark, the Tempest. Chuck Hickling's designed and built boat on the outside is Brenda Jones in the KYYX. And as you see, the Tempest has picked up the lead in that south turn. Jack Schaefer, he's got the inside position. Brenda out on that outside hip. And we've got a good race going into the back chute. Brenda Jones loves the speed. She loves those straightaways. She's not bad at it. And she's coming on from Sky King, coming due north, right at the camera, heading for the floating bridge. The KYYX on the left, and the Tempest on the inside on the right. Going into the north turn, a good race. Brenda Jones not afraid to put that foot to the floor. Only a 1-second lead for Jack Schaefer in the Tempest. This is his second race in this boat. He raced in Tri-Cities, getting a feel for that boat. He was in the Thousand Trails last year, which is now the Prodelco, but he's got the lead. About to complete lap number 1, Brenda Jones. Swinging outside, Schaefer doing a good job of moving her outside with that rooster tail. Brenda cutting it back inside, though. Let's see if she can keep up with him. Jack Schaefer completing a lap 1 in the Tempest. Brenda Jones, KYYX, completing a lap 1 as well. One and a half second lead for Schaefer. He's building it up slightly. In third place, coming across the finish line, is the Kawaguchi Travel, Will Muncie. Speed for the Tempest, 102 miles per hour. And the KYX at 100. I like that kind of speed better, tell you the truth. It's a lot of fun, and they're pretty close. Coming out of the south turn on lap 2, going down the back chute, Jack Schaefer. They've got about 3 inches to work with the Tempest camp, and they're all immaculate. Chuck Hickling so good at taking care of those engines. And there's another great race. Brenda Jones hanging in tough. She just keeps improving, getting better and better as a driver. And she's holding on to second place here in Heat 2A. You can see her just behind the rooster tail of the Tempest. Oh, what a great shot of our north camera. Good, steady ride by both drivers. Those boats behaving very nicely. Into that north turn, Brenda holding on. Back to a 1-second lead now for the Tempest. Brenda hanging in there. Coming up to complete lap number 2, the Tempest and the KYYX. The KYYX up for sale, and I think the property, the price may be going up a little bit right now. Jack Schaefer completes lap number 2, as does Brenda Jones in the KYYX. The speed of the Tempest, 102.52. Brenda Jones with that new system. They no longer have fuel injection on that engine. It's strictly a carburetor. And there's still the good race. They're down in the south part of the course. Look at Brenda holding on, riding that hip of Jack Schaefer. They're having fun. Both at around 102 miles per hour. Now watch the Tempest, because we are told they don't have that much nitrous. Brenda doesn't have any. But Jack Schaefer was saying that he has enough for about 3 different laps. Well, not that much, maybe a couple of laps to be competitive. Hickling said, well, if you ever want to go race somebody, you got it for about a lap and a half. And here we go. Let's see if he can keep it going. Of course, his competition does not have nitrous. That's the KYYX. And going down the chute, Brenda picking up, if not the lead. Brenda Jones. It's hard to tell from the angle of this camera. We'll wait until we get into the turn. From the naked eye, it looks like she has a slight lead going into that turn, the north turn. You can hear the crowd yelling in the background. Brenda Jones. And I think the nitrous probably has run out in the Tempest, and that may be one reason. Let's see now in turning. Schaefer's one of the best. Brenda does have a lead. Past the exit buoy. Brenda Jones in the KYYX. That familiar bright fluorescent red cross on the top of her helmet. And now she's stretching it out. She has a 1.5-second lead over Jack Schaefer in the Tempest. I've got to believe that Schaefer ran out of that nitrous to use coming out of the turn.
Unit 8, Kathleen, you got to copy an area control.
Into that south turn. Speed 101.5, so both of them staying right around 102 in this, the third lap. Great driving by Brenda Jones. Coming up ready to lap one of the boats. I believe it's the Shine 360. Brenda in her second year of racing. Broke into it last year. They told her stay on the outside, just drive, keep the boat running, don't worry about racing. She had a good race with Steve Reynolds when he was in the Captran Resort last year, if you recall. It involved about maybe 2 straightaways, but now she finds herself in the lead for the first time. There she's passing one of the boats. The boat on the far left is the KYYX, and she is moving way out in front. Brenda Jones. Her husband, Captain America, is going to be delighted right now. This is the critical area when she drives through these turns. As I said, they have shaved the spots, so it's a little easier, a little more forgiving for her to get out of those turns a little more easily. Won't hook to the left quite so much. The inside of those spots are shaved down considerably. They lowered the cowling directly behind her helmet. And the boat is running very, very well. Pat O'Day, the owner, told us when it runs right, they can go forever. They ran some 20 laps in Detroit practicing. They've got it going today. 7-second lead for KYYX ahead of the Tempest. And Brenda up to 103.7 miles per hour. Well, gentlemen, say what you want, but we've got ourselves a young lady that's picking them up and laying them down. Bob Miller of the Miss Rock has gone dead in the water on the main straightaway near the starting line. But Brenda, she just keeps riding. Brenda now on her last lap. First place. I can't wait to hear from Pat O'Day. Brenda Jones going by the design 360 with Tom Martin aboard. Really impressed. Anybody will tell you how difficult it is to pass a boat when you're on the outside, and she did just that against Jack Schaefer in the Tempest. What a coming out party for Brenda Jones. You can hear the crowd in the pits and the people along the shoreline, even over the thunder of these engines, as they shout for this young lady. Completing a lap 4. Brenda Jones in the KYYX. Brenda Jones takes it home. The winner of Heat 2B, 2A, check it. The Allisons were working today. Rod Mike, join in. What do you think of this young lady?
Well, for one thing, she's in the championship heat, Mike.
She's the only one that officially is now.
At this point, right.
That's absolutely correct. That's the best piece of driving by a woman since the World War II era. Without a doubt, first heat won by a woman since the World War II era. And unquestionably, I have not had a lot of confidence, I must admit, in Brenda Jones as a driver. And although the competition was not red hot, it was hot enough so that somebody had to show you some stuff, and she's got it.
Look at her consistent speeds, 100, 102, 101, 103, 102. She qualified at about 105, so that's a fine piece of driving for Brenda.
And she adds 200 points to the 150 she got in the first time out.